Okay, so like I said, today we will be finishing the unit. As you can see, Wednesday you'll be writing your unit exam. So this is my plan. On Monday, we'll be doing a quiz on this. Then we're going to take some time and we're all going to make a study sheet together, because some people are really fuzzy on, like, what's a study sheet, how do I make it, right? So we'll do it together, get all that stuff on there, and then you'll have, then I have a review activity for you to work on Monday. So you're going to keep powering through this stuff, right? And then on Tuesday, we're going to do a practice exam. And then on Wednesday, we're going to write the real exam, okay? So there will be absolutely no surprises, right? The only surprise for you is that you don't get 100%, okay? Because I really want that for every one of you. And of course, that's how I'm teaching you, and that's how we're going through this. And right now, I know something, yeah, 100%, like I'll get 100%. But if you've never got 100% on a math exam, okay, I want that for you. And it, you know, I don't care how cool you think you are and it's math and the whole thing. It feels good, okay? And not only does it feel good, it just lets you relax a bit more as you get on to the next unit and the next unit. If you do not do well on this, right, then where do we go from there? Okay, now it opens a can of worms, right? You know, do you have to start being in here at lunch? Do you have to be in here every day east? Is this course too difficult? A lot of stuff we got to go through, right? So there is obviously consequences if we're not going through this stuff and understanding it. Now, the only thing we're going to do different from yesterday to today is we're not going to do the best fit line. We're going to do the best fit curve. Okay? So, which adds no difficulty at all. Now, there's two things that we are going to be talking about. There's two types of things that can give you curves. Well, actually, there's many, but we're just going to talk about two. And that is one that goes like this or like this. And this is called a quadratic. And there's ones that go like this or like this, and those are called cubic. Now, the key ideas we're going to be talking about is scatter plots cannot be just straight lines, but they can be a predictable curve. Okay? And there's a relationship between the independent and the dependent. And we've talked about that a lot. Now, if the points in the scatter plot follow a quadratic or cubic trend, then the graphing technology can be used to determine this. Okay? So, again, we gotta be good on those calculators, right? Talk to any Math 30-2 student, you talk to any Math 30-2 teacher, they'll tell you that is the key to success. And without it, like, you just can't do well in this course. I mean, I don't know how you're supposed to come up with a regression equation by looking at a bunch of points. Like, how could you pull today's quiz off without a calculator? It is, like, there's impossible and then there's really impossible. I think it's up there in the really impossible. Now, here is a scatter plot. This is Canadian births. So this one went through a curve. Okay, so the number of births and the year. Do you see how time is the independent? Staying nice and consistent, right? Now, this you don't, need a calculator. It says describe the trend. What's happening from like the 1940s to the 1970s? What's the trend? It increases, then decreases, okay? So it increases and then decreases. Now, based on the graph, in what year did the greatest number of births occur? 63? So around there somewhere. So, and we always do this, because this is exactly 1960? No. So you do this little, it's an actual cube thing, but that just means approximately 1960. How many births took place in 1965? Okay, well 1963 is here, so like say 1965 is like right up here. We follow it up, and we'd be about here, wouldn't we? And then we should follow it across. So what are you thinking? About 4,200? 42,000 or 420,000? Okay. Oh, sorry. There we go. Okay. In what years did more than 400,000 births occur? Okay. So then, you know, maybe you got to get the old ruler out or whatever, and 400,000, that's the 400,000 line right there. So what years? Well, I wouldn't say 55, right? Because we're about there, here. So between here and like here-ish, right? Like about that. So what would we say? About 1953 to 1965. Okay, approximately. Now, will they have one of those in the diploma? Yes. They just want you to look at it and get some, right? And how are you going to get good at them? Just practicing. It's the only way. Okay. So, what kind of stuff else? Okay, so here, this is heart rate versus power. Okay, so they're saying power output. Now, by reading a graph, can you always see what's independent? Independent is always the... Okay, do you see we're going to get that on a study sheet? Do you see how, if you miss that little point, how hard it's going to hurt you in your diploma? Things are going to fall apart after that, right? So the seconds have to take care of all those other things. Okay, so it says use the regression equation to estimate the athlete's heart rate when his power output is 310 watts. Now, you can put 310 into here, because is 310 the X or the Y? I'm hearing 2. Come on, which one is it for sure? This is definitely X. Okay, you got to be definite, because that's where watts is on the X, and it's giving me 310. So you can put 310 into here, 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 and here. You can put all that in, right? Which is not fun. Okay, that's a long equation to put down. But anyway, so we would put X into the equation above. Or, what is another way to do it? Yep. Okay, so graph above equation, or graph above equation. Okay, and after I've done that, what would I do next? I graphed it, put it in, yeah? No, you wouldn't have to do that. What is my calculator? It can do it for me. No. Would I do the line? I do the line when they give me Y. What do I do when they give me X? In where? I have to hit a button. Trace. So then go trace, and then you're going to have to, now there won't be points there, because you're just putting in the equation. Trace 310. And it'll give you the answer 149. You know, and don't be afraid to, like, 310. 310 is here. Follow it up, right? And it's not quite giving me, it's giving me about 150. But at least I'm in the, like, I must be right? I must be close. You know what? You'd look on the diploma and there'll be 149, 210, 870. They're not mean. They're not going to have 149, 150, 150, 152, right? No, that's an awesome question. The diploma, they're not mean, okay? Like, the last class that the 30-2 class that I had 30 in the room and 6 got 100 on the diploma. Okay, so they're not mean. In my career, I don't know if I want to. You know what? You will all do well unless you're not showing up. I can't remember. I don't know if I had any fail. Okay, they definitely didn't fail the course, right? But the 30-2 is probably the nicest course. Like 30-1, there's some mean things in there, but 30-2, they're pretty nice, right? They're not killers on it, and but none of my students who got 100 fluked it off. They worked, right? They're in here, they rewrote every quiz, they did their homework, right? But it's seriously, if you know how to use this calculator, right, which you all will. So we have 40 in here, so we should be able to beat 6, right? Okay. Now, use the curve of best fit. Do you see that? I just saw that. Okay, best fit to estimate the athlete's output power when his heart rate is 130. 130 is a Y value, correct? So how will I find what this heart rate is? What would I do? Y2 equals 130, and then what would I have to do after that? Because I'm going to get this 130 go across, won't I? I need to find this spot, don't I? No. I never taught you trace 5. Trace 5 is if I know the x. I don't know the x. No. Second. Function second. Trace, which is. And then second trace is actually what? Yeah, so which is calc, right? So I go second trace, and then 5. Enter, enter, enter. Okay? Have a seizure over here. Okay. So we're going to go, after we're going to go second. Now instead of saying second trace, let's go second calc, because that's really, everything, when you hit this button, everything yellow on your calculator works. And when you hit the green, everything on the green works. Okay, that's how this, that's why you don't have to have 8 million buttons on your calculator. They duplicate it. So we're going to go second calc, intersect, and then we're going to go enter, enter, enter. Oh, actually, that was my 30-1 that I got those 600s from. Well, you don't know I am either yet. We got to see the results. Okay, so now we're actually going to do one. Okay, right from scratch, and I am not going to give you guys anything. You have to tell me, and if we're getting errors, you got to tell me how to fix it, and that's how we're going to get through this. Now, and then there's going to be a new thing that I'm going to show you, right? Just in case you were getting this, I'm going to try and make it more complicated. So here I got a bunch of data. Which one do you think X and which is Y? X is time. Y? Time is always X. Okay? And you know what? They're pretty good to you. I've seen many times they actually have it in brackets there, right? They're not trying to trick you. Okay? Will there be students going into this diploma that do not know how to use their calculator and who have not been showing in up for class? Yes. Right? That's who you're competing against. Right? there will be probably 20 to 30% of the province, right, that will fail this exam. And they will have not gone to class, right? And they have not learned this stuff. Okay, so I need to get this stuff into my calculator. How do I do it? Okay, turn it on. Stat. Edit. Now I've got a bunch of stuff in here. How do I get rid of it? Yeah. Do I got enough to replace it? So go up, clear, oops, clear, and then, or just go down. Okay, so yeah, don't delete. Okay, I won't have your back if you, can someone get that for me? I think I know what it is. So clear, down. Okay, so let's do this. One's easy. 1, 2. You're all doing this with me, right? Please. 4. I am. Thank you. 5. Okay, you're just in time. Do you have a graphing calculator? Okay, so we're actually doing this first. We're actually starting something new right now, so you're not missing anything. Okay, so we're in L1. Now get over to L2, and then I'm going to put in my numbers, hopefully correct. I think we can all understand if I do not put my numbers in right, I will definitely get the wrong equation. 74.6, 55.8, 16.1. Okay? Okay, so y equals, I got to get rid of this thing, don't I? Because it's kind of old news in the past. So plot 1 is on. So if I hit zoom 9, and can you see what I got? Okay, now it says describe the characteristics of the data. Up and down, yeah, increasing, then decreasing. What you guys throwing big words out? Okay, curved. Now, a lot of you guys said quadratic, and here's what I want to say. Like, say I've got. Let's just do this, and let's put our points, and it looks like this. Now, that looks quadratic, doesn't it? Okay. But, so it could be quadratic, but it also could be cubic. Now, how do you know which one? Well, I'm going to show you. Okay? Remember, you saw it here. Okay? Now, calculator, this is how you do it. You go. First of all, I want to find the equation. How do I do that? Stat, calc, guess which one? Quadratic regression. So that's the only thing new today. You're going to hit quadratic regression instead of linear regression. And then you're going to go like this, and you hit enter. And then enter again. Now, is anybody getting more values than me? You're not getting... Yeah, are you getting an R squared? Okay. Now, if my diagnostics aren't on, okay, I think that's the problem here. How do I turn my diagnostics on? Second, 0. Because if my diagnostics are on, then I'm very confused right now. I thought I turned it on yesterday. So diagnostic on, I'm going to hit enter. Okay, now I'm going to do this again. Stat, calc, 5. Please work, please work, please work. Yes. Okay? This is a big deal here. Do you see that this 9998, this is called, are you ready for it? The coefficient of determination. That is saying that I am 99.999% confident that this is a quadratic regression. Okay? Now that's pretty good, eh? 99.999. Watch this. Okay? Now look at that number. That coefficient of determination. It's pretty solid. The only better is if that said 1. And actually, on our linear, it would have said 1. So you got to go to catalog, second 0. Go all the way down to diagnostic on, and then you're going to hit enter when that arrow is right beside it. Now that's pretty smoking, 0.995, right? Now watch this though. Stat. Okay, stop. Stat. Calc. I want to see cubic regression, which is 6. Enter. Which is better? Cubic's a little bit better, isn't it? Okay? So, why is it better? Because the other one was 9998. This one is 999997. So, let's write that down. Quad regression would be r squared equals 0.998. 9998, sorry. There's actually another 9 there. And cubic regression, r squared was 0.9999. And what is this called? This is called the coefficient of determination. In other words, this is how sure that that is a quadratic regression or a cubic regression. Now, will this ever be a question on your diploma? I highly doubt it. Okay? But I just want you to know that both are going to work most of the time. So how do you know which one to use? They will tell you on the diploma. Find the quadratic regression. Find the cubic regression. It will tell you. Because 0.9998 and 0.9999, like, are you kidding me? You're going to ask me which one's better? Well, geez, 0.99, like, they're both 100% almost, right? So they're not going to ask you to make that decision. They won't say, is this a cubic or is this a quadratic? Because most curves can keep going and most curves can go like this, right? Like, it doesn't matter. No, it will tell you. It will ask. It'll just say quadratic regression, like in this next question here. Okay? So I'm just going to clear, and then we're going to do quadratic regression. So I'm going to do that again. Stat, calc, 5, enter. Okay? So it's determine the equation, and it will ask you, usually to a certain decimal place. This one doesn't. So this is y equals negative 10.071 x squared plus 51.409x plus 11. Okay, does everyone see? Here's the equation. A, B, C, and what is A? 10.071. What is B? 51.409. Why is it 9? Because his buddy is a 5. And why did I put 11? Because it's 11. Okay? Now you can see, to be able to get information, I need to graph this curve. And do you see how much of a beast it would be to write this down? So we don't have to write it down. We can go to y equals. And how do I get the equation in there? vars 5 equation. That's way quicker. And if you're anyone like me, I would have left probably 3 numbers out someplace along the line and screwed it up. Okay? Then you hit graph, and you stand back in awe. You guys don't, what? Okay, maybe you got something else in there or something that. Now I know, you're like, yeah, piece of plastic, crap calculator, how good that, you wouldn't even believe what's going on behind the scenes for it to figure this out, right? If we were to do this manually, we could start like at the beginning of last week and probably take us all semester to get this done, okay? And it did it like that. Now that I have that, I can go down here and I can start asking some questions. Use your equation to determine the height of the ball at 0 seconds. Now, am I looking for X or looking for Y? Well, I'm looking for Y's, actually. They give me, so I've been given X's, right? What do you use when you've been given X's? You use trace. Okay? So if we hit trace, now remember what you always have to do. You have to hit the up arrow, okay? Or else bad things happen. So you hit up, that's all you got to do, and then you go, did that actually work? I always cruise on the web for a bit to make sure it worked. It does work. I hit 0, and it should not give me an answer. Why not? Because my Windows settings are horrible. Because if I'm going to actually, I need my X min to be smaller than that and my X max to be bigger than it. Now the X max is bigger than it, right? But the X min is not. So, and I put like -3. Like you could put 0, but then you're right on the line. It would still work actually. But, okay, so then we have that. Then I have to hit trace all over again. I'm going to hit up all over again, and then I'm going to hit 0. And I have to hit enter. Okay, 11 meters. Okay, this was a golf ball being hit, by the way. That would have been nice to know, hey? So, trace 1, right, trace up. So, we put in trace 0, or no, we went trace up, then we hit 0, and then we hit enter. Now, we should make a note that had...
Students, please excuse this interruption. The following students
I thought it was going to be a lockdown.
conference room at the end of their period. Cole Cardinal, Darren Hornby, Emily Crockett, Morgan Blayon, Jolene Erstein, Amira Abdi,
Okay,
Deanna Wright,
and we got 11 meters.
Gorlas,
Yep.
Kusar Hassan, Alexander Khan, Tony Tang, Kenneth Wickman, Ryan Charles,
You could,
Anna Hassan,
not as easy though,
Andrew
but it always is the y-intercept when x is 0.
Lexicon, Sabrina O'Bad,
In fact, that's how you find y-intercepts, x equals 0.
Aaron Bird,
Okay, when you're in this mode, you can keep going and just hit 2.5 enter. So we've just done B, 76.
and Oscar Gamilo.
0.575. You don't have to hit trace all over again, right? You're just in that mode. And then C is 4.5, which is 38.39. Okay? For C. Okay, so when I was in trace mode, you can just keep hitting X values and it'll give you the Y's. Now, when did the ball hit the ground? AKA when Y is 0. Like, if you can make it into math, right? This is when Y equals 0. Because what does Y stand for? Height. What's 0 height? The ground, right? Because 0 height is the ground. Okay, why? Let's think about this. The guy's hitting a golf ball at 0 seconds before he hits the ball. It's at 11 meters. Yeah. Yeah, and if you read the question above, look what it says. Hit from the top of a hill. So they might even ask you how high was the hill, and you're like, what? What's he talking about? How high is the hill? At 0 seconds should be the hill, right? Okay, so we're 2 seconds from being done here. We got to go y2 of 0, hit graph, and I do not see it. Why not? Windows. Which one should I adjust? So I'm going to go to like -5. Yeah, or else you won't see it. And actually it doesn't, when it's on the x-axis you don't see it. So you can go like this, go all the way down, and hit left, 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 left. Do you see how I got there? And make that the thick line by hitting enter once. So you go very far left, you're blinking on that line, hit enter once. You can keep going, right, and it does other different things. Then you hit graph. First one comes, and then you'll see it come along the line, nice and fat there. And I need this spot right here, don't I? Yes, everyone say yes. I need that spot, okay? So, how will I find it? Second, trace, 5. Don't go for 0. That's another way to do, this is the best way. Go 5, because I'm going to intersect those two lines, and then I'm going to hit enter 3 times. And hopefully it works. Okay, it did not work. Okay, let's try this again. Second, enter. Sometimes I find, like the spider's pretty far away. It went for this one. Went for this x-intercept. So you gotta cruise the spider over there. It's the laziest spider. Yep, you got the right answer. Because see where my spider? I gotta get him close. See how it came over here? I don't need the negative time, because there's no such thing. So you got to get the spider over there and then hit enter 3 times. And you get 5.3 what? Is that meters? Why? How do you know that? Time is x, right? So x equals time equals 5.31 seconds. Okay, so that's page 127 to 130. I can tell some of you guys didn't get your homework done last night. You need to practice these. If you want to ace that quiz on Monday, this is how you'll do it, right? And remember, maybe get all those steps written down. Okay, so go take a break, come back, leave your stuff here, because just wait, go for a break, come back, and then you can.